Hey everyone, Sophie here again with another quick Project Altirus update. So it's that weird time of year between Halloween and Christmas, and I could swear there's another holiday around this time. Something involving Americans eating a lot of food and family coming over. Your cousin says really inappropriate things at the dinner table. Your niece gets into a fight with your mom's boyfriend and shanks him out in the garden later, and then you have to explain that to the police. Then you find your third cousin was shooting heroin up in your bathroom. Basically, everyone yells at you for being a deadbeat who can't get stable work despite sending out his resume for like 4 months and ends up spending his whole time making a mod for an obscure computer game. Then you drink slightly more than usual and end up blacking out, waking up behind the Flying J outside Bakersfield wearing a tutu with 3 grand stuffed into it. And then you get to keep everybody's leftovers. It's some kind of holiday that involves all of that, but I just can't put my finger on it. First thing I'd like to say is thank you to all those folks out there who've been contributing to my coffee. I'd also like to give a big thank you to certain YouTubers, particularly a fellow named Baron Von Games. He's been showing off my work and giving me their support in other ways as well. Some folks are still asking about a Patreon for monthly donations, which I'm tempted to do, but there's no guarantee I'll be able to keep up this development pace long enough to justify that. Plus, I don't know what kind of cool rewards I could offer other than stuff that would end up taken away from Project Altirus. Like if I offered to make mods for patrons or whatnot. Even then, they'd be the ones getting frustrated with my lack of technical skill and not just me. Now moving on to more relevant stuff, there's been a couple new maps released since my last update, namely 2 variations of the Skolgva map, a Halloween version with zombies, and a not Halloween version without zombies, as well as Raid on Castle Dajik. I wanted a couple more basic maps, a bit like Temple or Chesic Bridge, before I move on to large-scale stuff, is a bit more in line with my idea for Project Altirus. My attempts to make a decent map focused on planes and ground targets, I've found something pretty neat taking shape. Also, I've updated my first map, Breach It Kid or More, with a whole number of things. Besides that, I figured I'd take some time to hammer out weapons. This includes going back and applying some polish, improving animations, getting better sounds, fixing bugs where I'm able, which, by the way, isn't that often. Like I said, my technical skills are pretty lackluster, as well as adding a host of new weapons. Some of the latest ones at the time of this recording have been a new pistol, a shotgun, and a deployable machine gun and mountain gun. I'm currently focused on fleshing out the faction-specific weapons, getting more special weapons, particularly centered around blowing stuff up. Small engineering structures like sandbag barriers and tank traps are also something I'm considering, but no guarantee on those since they're not a massive priority. At least not yet. While I wouldn't call Project Altirus done by any stretch, I think I've already mentioned this, I'm thinking of getting started on another sub-project in the somewhat near future. Mainly because it involves a lot of stuff that folks have been hankering for. And stuff that I've always wanted to do as well. These include big naval battles, amphibious landings, and more large-scale operations than you might see in the Second Leerzog War. As far as what to expect very soon, I've pretty much finished putting together a standalone vehicles pack. This will include all the vehicles on the maps thus far, the Mathis infantry tank and Chest 2 medium I released a while back, as well as some others that haven't really shown up yet. This pack will also include the Corvette and frigate from St. Levon, but I can't guarantee they'll work all that well on other maps. As for the cargo ships, those don't really belong anywhere else. Unless people really want them, in which case, if you say so, I guess. Mainly just waiting before releasing that so it doesn't look like I'm spamming the workshop. But after a bit of tidying up, I think you can expect it fairly soon. I think that about wraps it up. For those of you who've donated, I'd like to thank you for your generosity. And for those who continue following the project, I'd like to thank you for playing along. I'll see y'all on the next one. Except I won't. Because we're not really, seeing each other. You know what I mean.